I got another Tip Tuesday video for you guys this week. If you remember last week, we kind of started a series where we're doing some practice techniques that's going to make you a better, faster, and stronger blackjack player. We're going to do the same thing this week, all right? But first off, if you are new to my channel, welcome. This is A1 Blackjack, the channel where I teach you how to count cards fast. So if that sounds good to you, stick around because, like I said, last week we learned how to count the cards faster and some drills that might help you do that. And this week we're going to focus on basic strategy. All right, so I have a deck of cards here. We're going to do kind of 3 different drills again that I think are helpful for you. This first one, you just need a deck of cards. Hopefully you all have one of those. So if you want, you can get it out with me and do it along here. And what you might also need is, we all probably have a phone. All right, so maybe if you have something to prop your phone up with, that might be a good idea. I'll just take kind of a discard tray. If you have, you use whatever you want. You can use a coffee cup. I have one of those over here too, so that's fine. But the idea behind this drill is you're gonna film yourself as you deal out a deck of cards, and you just want to see if you are playing basic strategy correctly. All right, so for example, let's just play through this, and I'm not gonna film myself. I'll kind of act like I am here, and I can give these a quick shuffle. Right, nothing too special, maybe a cut or two, so I have no clue what's going on. And we'll do it like this. If you even have some chips, you can, like for betting correctly, for hit stands, double downs, splits, for double downs, if you want to, you can actually do it. You don't have to though. You can just kind of say what you're going to do. For surrenders, you can take half the bet if surrender is available to you. But I think what I'm going to do here is just play in one spot, and this is what I mean. So I would kind of film myself, and as I do this, perfect example right here. So this is a 10 versus a dealer's 4. This is going to be a double down, all right? So I would double it, play out the rest of the hand, and let's see, that's 9, 10, 11, 12, and 17 versus 20, so I would win. Now, if you want to check yourself, in the description of this video, I'm going to link my basic strategy chart. This is one that I made, and you can just look on here to see, did you do the right thing? All right, so as you're watching the film back of your camera that you are filming yourself with, check, is 10 versus that original dealer's 4, is that in fact a double down? And if you go here, 10 versus 4, yes it is. It is a double down. So you can check yourself versus a chart. If you're at that point where there's a hand maybe you're not sure about, you can do that. So let's just keep going here and see if we can play through this. All right, and if you want, you guys can print out your chart and check me, make sure I'm playing correctly. If I ever make a mistake, you're very good to let me know in the comments. I appreciate that. All right, here we go. Is there any blackjack? No, there is not. A 13 versus dealer's 10 is going to be a hit. Oh my goodness, look at that, 21. And 19 for the dealer. So we're off to a great start here for the player, but again, it's more about getting these correct. Right, 16 versus the dealer's 10. This is actually a surrender if available. If it's not available to you, then you have to remember that 16 versus 10 is a hit. All right, so at the tables I play at currently, I don't have surrender available to me, so I would hit this. Okay, there are deviations, which we'll get to maybe in a next week or a few weeks down the road. But for right now, I'm going to hit that and then stand on 17. Let's see, dealer has 19. We lost that one. Okay. All right, I'll try to go a little faster here through these. Again, tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comments. This is going to be a stand. 14 versus 6. 16. Ooh, they had 21 that time. All right. 13 versus the dealer 2. Here's kind of a tough one. All right, you might have to check your chart if you're not sure. 13 versus a 2 is going to be a stand, though. Let's see, 13 versus a 2 through 6 is a stand. So we're going to stand on that. Dealer has 12 and 19. So they lost 3 in a row. Oh, an interesting one here. Soft 17 is never going to be a stand if you look at your basic strategy chart. Soft 17 versus dealer 8 is a hit. All right, now you can stand on the soft 19. Dealer has 16 and too many. All right, so I'm just playing through until I get through all my cards. 12 versus 5 is going to be a stand. Dealer has 15, 25, too many. Oops. My goodness. 20, of course, is going to stand against everything. Dealer also has 20, so that one's a push. And it feels like this might be our last one here. A soft 19 is going to be a stand versus dealer's 10. Dealer has 13 and 23. Another win for you. And maybe one more. We'll see. We might not have enough. 9 versus dealer's 4 is going to be a double down. Now you have 16. Dealer has 11. Now I obviously ran out, so I'm just going to pick one from the middle here. 11 and 16. Oh, the suspense is killing me. And 22. You won by 1. Very nice. Okay. So there's a drill for you. You can just play through a deck. Again, film yourself and see if you play those correct or not. As you look back at your footage from the film, you can see exactly what the correct decision should have been. All right, the second drill that I want to go over today is similar, where you might want to have your chart handy again, but also in the description of this video, and maybe I'll even try to put it in the pinned comments, I'm going to have a printable chart for you that you can just sit and fill out row by row what basic strategy is. And if you've watched, Blackjack apprenticeships videos before, you may have seen there's phrases that sometimes APs like to use. They're slightly different depending on who you listen to. Myself, Blackjack advisors, Blackjack apprenticeship, we all have some different phrases that we might use. But on the side, you can write those down. All right. Here's one that I filled out, and this is just basic strategy all the way down. Again, once you have that all filled out, you can check yourself against the chart over here, as well as those phrases are also going to be listed in that link that you see in the description of this video. So I'll be sure to put that in there for you. Okay, and then the third way, I have some basic strategy flashcards that I've created. Before I was making these YouTube videos, I actually made my own flashcards. Here's a blank one. The side of my table here, right? It's just kind of the size of a card, and I would put the same thing that you see here. I just write out, I'd say like for this one, KQ versus a dealer 6, and on the back side I would say what the correct decision was, which obviously for this one should be a stand. So let's just go through maybe 10 to 12 of these or so, see if you can get them too. If you need to pause the video and try it with me, that might be a good idea. So this one, like I said, a 20 versus a dealer 6 is going to be a stand. Now, don't confuse these with my deviation flashcards, which are also over here. These are very different. These tell you when to deviate from basic strategy. This is just basic strategy by itself, so this should be a stand. Okay, the way you read the backside, I'll try to zoom in on this for you. It says that 10-10 versus 6, right? So the big decision in the middle here is what you should do. And then down below is the phrase, like we had on our chart earlier, the phrase that we use for that particular row of basic strategy. So this one says never split tens. Okay. All right, this one, 7-7 versus 7. So if you have a pair of 7s versus a dealer 7, what's the correct decision on this one? Should we hit, stand, double down, split? This is actually going to be a split. 7s are split against the dealers 2 through 7. So here we have some splits. And you'll notice that with each of these, we have like a red stop sign thing for the stands. I have kind of a circle that I split for the splits. Down below is the phrase we use here. It says split 2s, 3s, and 7s versus dealers 2 through 7. So we use that phrase for all 3 of those rows. Let me pull out the other ones really quick so you can just see. So we have hit, stand, double down, and split are 4 different types. A double down, I just have kind of 2 bars that are kind of double of the bars. So that's how I remember that. 2 yellow bars there. And then a green rectangle for a hit. Okay, put those off to the side. Let's do, like I said, about 10 of these or so. So that's 2. 10 versus dealers 2 is going to be a double down, according to basic strategy. And the phrase down below says a hard 10 doubles against the dealers 2 through 9. Any other card you would hit. All right, what about a 12 versus dealers 2? This is a hit. A 12 is going to be a stand against the dealers 4, 5, or 6. So here it says hit, and then it says a hard 12 stands against 4, 5, or 6, like I was saying. Otherwise, you hit that. A pair of 9s versus dealer 7. 9s are interesting. 9s split against 2 through 9, except for 7. So against the 7 itself, you're going to stand on your 18. That one's a stand. And let's see, here we have a soft 20 versus dealer's 5. A soft 20 is going to be a stand. A 13 versus dealer's 2. I think we had this one in our cards when we were going through the deck earlier. A 13 versus a dealer's 2 is going to be a stand. All right, aces. Pair of aces. What do we always do with aces? You always split your aces. Let's do 2 more here. This one, another soft 20 versus dealer 6, going to be a stand. Okay, and last one for today. This one says, if we have a soft 14 versus a dealer's 4, what's the correct decision here? This is a tough one. Think about it. What should you do? Well, this is going to be a hit. All right, if you look at the phrase down here, it's close, but it says a soft 14 doubles against a dealer's 5 and 6 only. Otherwise, we're going to hit. So because it's not a 5 or 6, it's a 4, we would actually hit that. All right, and then I think if you purchase these from me, which I'll put a link in the pinned comment of this video, if you purchase these basic strategy flashcards, there are 63 different decisions. So it's not all of them, but what I tried to do, let me pull back the basic strategy chart here. It's kind of the ones, for the most part, that are along kind of these edges here. So ones that, you know, if it's 1 card over, it might be a different decision, or 1 card back. For example, if I have any 10s on here, I probably have a 10 versus a dealer's 9 and a 10 versus a dealer's 10, because one of them's a double down or one of them's a hit. Or maybe, for example, a soft 18. Soft 18 has 3 different decisions we can do. If it's against a dealer's 6, we would double down. If it's against a dealer's 7 or 8, we would stand. But if it's against a dealer's 9, 10, or ace, we would hit that. So I would probably have those 4 listed out for my soft 18 row of basic strategy. All right, and there's others down here listed as well. So that might be something that you would want to purchase. So those are 3 drills that I think are helpful for you in practicing basic strategy. From something as simple as just going through a deck and filming yourself, all the way up to purchasing my basic strategy flashcards, which you can keep in an empty deck of card box, right? And you can just take those on the go with you. That might be something that you might want to try out. So until next time, this is A1 Blackjack.